this may be what you're looking for. What we're seeing here is a UX component based on my TBL countries table. So just the name of the country here and some record navigation buttons, and then the text that you were looking for down here. And when UX gets rendered, we grab the current record that we're looking at, and we grab the total number of records, and we also have the number of records in our current query. So that's going to be everything when the UX first gets rendered in this particular case. So we can move using the record navigation buttons, and our static text control here gets updated. And it doesn't matter whether you're first or last. And then we can go ahead and we can perform search. So I'm going to search, and this is just a contained in search. So I'm going to type in the letter P, and so I found 3 countries containing the letter P, and we say record 1 found 3 of 23, which is our original total, Portugal and Spain. And then if we look for something that doesn't exist, we get our message up here saying no query, no records in the query, and then we go back to record 1 found 23 of 23. So let's go and have a look to see how we did this. Let's see. Our static text control, where are we going to start here? We'll just start in our static text control, that's fine. So here we just have a static text control. Span ID is record info. So I'm putting all the information in here, and I'm putting it together somewhere else. Font size, font color. So there's nothing more to it than that. Let's go through the pieces one at a time, starting with client side on render complete. So on render complete is we create a variable in the namespace, an object really actually. We create an object in the dialog namespace called recinfo, and I'm just going to fill it up with some properties. So dialog object recinfo total record count is equal to the dialog object dot underbar primary key list dot length. This actually comes from the server side on dialog initialize. That's when you do this, we get primary keys for the parent table. So we're loading up our table at first. That results in a lot of JavaScript and some variables, and one of those variables is this. So we can get that. So that's where we're getting our total record count. Our query record count when we first open up is going to be exactly the same thing as our total record count. So that's easy to set. And then we call a JavaScript function to go ahead and update the static text control. So let's go into JavaScript functions, and that's where this is happening. So it's just we're going after recinfo, which is our ID, and our static text control. We're just setting some inner HTML. The word record, our current record number. Now this is something that's available to us anywhere we are. Alpha looks after updating this for us, so we always have that. And then so record, current record, and then period, and then a period. Found in our query record count. And here's our total query record count, and that's going to be equal to the total number of records when we first render the component, and then our total record count. So that's what happens when we fire everything off for the first time. So after we go back to our client-side events, after record navigate, we don't have to do anything else except just update record info. We just call that JavaScript event. And again, when that gets called, the only thing that's going to change as we navigate is the current record number. So since Alpha looks after that becomes current, so we just have to update the static text control. The only thing that changes, let's see, when we go ahead and do a search based on your information once again, we do get primary key values for the records in the query, so that's fine. search field, so we do all that. So, and then we call this JavaScript function JS after search. So let's go and have a look at that next. JS after search, we pass in the e parameter, of course, and we say if the records e.records in query is greater than 0, so that means we found something. And I can get rid of these two items now so it'll be a little more clear. So if e.records in query is greater than 0, then we're going to update our property in our recinfo object query record count, query rec count, equal to e.records in query. So we'll have a current number of records in the query now. Now if it is not greater than 0, which means it'll be 0 in this particular case, then we're going to update that with the total number of records that we originally found when we first rendered the control. So, and then we go ahead and we update, we call this function, which goes ahead and updates our static text control. So that's about it. And again, this is what it looks like. So we can go through, our record count gets changed. We can do a query, and we get appropriate information. And we can still, of course, go through our navigation. And you could always have a reset button here that looks for nothing, and in order to reset all this information. So I hope that helps. Thanks for having a look.